Hey, it's Dr. Amanda with Straightsmile Solutions, straightsmilesolutions.com. Let's talk about phase one interceptive orthodontic treatment acceptance rates. And as a doctor, you should know your treatment acceptance rate. This is a KPI. This is something key performance indicator. You should know if you're doing good, if you're doing bad. I mean, it really comes also down to your patient population and everything like that. So it's not that you're going to fail, but if you're feeling that, listen, phase one interceptive is a completely different animal in terms of how you present the treatment than traditional orthodontics. You know, your phase two just cosmetic only. When there's a bite or airway or habit or functional issue that changes the face, the way you grow, the way you sleep, the way you breathe, the way you look, it's a much bigger deal. So it really comes down to how are you presenting this? And usually the rate for phase one interceptive is going to be a little bit higher overall than a difference. Okay, so regular orthodontics people are more familiar with, like straighten teeth, braces, Invisalign, make teeth look nice, right? People are going to do that when they think they need to do it. Phase one interceptive is completely different foreign concept to a lot of patients and parents. Some are very educated on, and they're going to come in seeking it, and they're just going to look for the doctor who understands their kid the best and seems like they know what they're talking about. And in some ways, you're going to have a crazy high acceptance rate if one of those people seeks you out. How are they going to seek you out? They're going to seek you out because, assuming you're a pediatric dentist or a general dentist, that is your, primary care patient for primary care dentistry. And if you know your stuff, they're going to have you do it, especially if they've already been to a regular orthodontist and they realize you're doing things a little more thoroughly. That is a slam dunk. So obviously building out your website, I mean, the amount of consumers who follow my material, which I make it crystal clear, this is not for consumers. I can't stop what they find on the internet. The internet's the internet, right? I just don't talk in baby language. My videos are addressed towards healthcare professionals. If consumers want to listen to it, be my guest. It's your choice. Good for you. I mean, I listen to doctor facing stuff for medicine all the time. Am I a physician? No. So, and then I advocate for myself and my kids. So anyways, it's all in how you present it. Some parents just don't care. There's nothing you're going to do to convince them that helping them make faces and airways and bites better at a younger age is going to be better for their kids. Maybe they had teeth out, maybe they had regular braces work for them. They don't have any issues. They think you're just trying to charge more. That's fine. Even if they think that, it's still your job. And I can go into the American Dental Association. I think I've posted some stuff on that before, but it is actually a standard of care to have this discussion with every single patient if there's an issue. So you have to have the discussion. They don't have to listen. You have to document you have the discussion. They don't have to take the treatment, but and I know that faces will melt, things will happen if there's problems, and later they're not going to be happy with how their kid looks. I'm sorry, we gave you an option. And this is where it's risk management for you to do things the right way. Just because they said they're not interested doesn't mean you don't do your job, okay? So that's what I'm getting at. You just keep presenting the health, airway, and functional benefits. It's part of your job. Every time they come in for their 6th month, you keep presenting the new treatment plan. What you don't have to do is you don't have to do these for free. You can do the first one for free. You can do one a year for free. After that, I think one a year makes sense. It doesn't have to be every 6 months. It depends on how much they're changing. You can say every year I'm gonna make a treatment plan for you. You don't have to add the CBCT or do anything like that. I mean, you don't have to go into the weeds. You can do screener forms and things like that, and only if they're more interested, do that. But if you really think there is a problem, yeah, you got to do that. And they may not pay for it, but this is standard of care. Because if you think that there is a problem, or you have to refer them out to ENT or Myo, you have to have a plan. They don't have to go, but you got to send them, right? So you guys get the idea. Once you start getting into the groove of this and really understanding it and really believing it, and remember, you have to present the ortho-facing information. The airway, all that is possible secondary benefit. You got to be focusing on function, habits, and growth. And of course, straight teeth. That is the ortho part. Airway is secondary. You can talk about Myo, tongue benefits. Oh yeah, all day long, not a problem. But now there's starting to be research about enuresis, bedwetting, and airway. Hello, finally, and orthodontics. It's finally out there. So slowly in time, the pediatricians are catching up, but it's your job to educate the pediatricians in your area. So I strongly suggest you try to network with them. You can send letters, you can send messages on LinkedIn, contact their office. They most likely will completely ignore you, but you tried. So you might find one. It's funny because my personal pediatrician for my kids, that who I've known for 20 years, um, we happened to had a kid at the same school like the whole time. It was a big private school, but we didn't really hang out, but we'd see each other sometimes at events, and eventually, I'd kind of pepper a few things in, about things I knew if you ever have any questions. Eventually, she was like, "Oh my gosh, you're right. Everything you've been telling me for the last 15 years is correct. Like they're finally teaching us this stuff in CE courses." I'm like, "Thank you." So, yeah, pretty awesome stuff. Don't stress if you're not having a big conversion rate. And remember, with kids, a lot of it comes down to timing. Nobody's going to put braces on their kids in December. It's not going to happen. No, and I don't even want to do that. I almost never did starts in December. December is a time to build your resume, get records. You can definitely, I mean, some people might do Invisalign start, but nobody's going to do braces starts or functional appliance. It's just nobody wants emergencies over the holidays. And then remember, they're not real emergencies unless you're using weird appliances. Those can be real emergencies, but it's just not a great idea. So people start in January, they start at tax time, they start in summer. And sometimes they start at when they get back from summer if they're like travelers, before the school year. But those are the 4 times you're going to see kind of bursts of starts. In the meantime, you're collecting your data. You can still present treatment plans. There's nothing wrong with that. Get them ready. I would always give them 60 days because in a mixed dentition, whatever scan or whatever you're going to have or data, or it's just not going to be accurate, after 60 days. So, and you don't have to give the second one for free. You can say, I give one complimentary orthodontic exam, diagnosis, and treatment plan per year. After that, if you need another one, there will be a fee for it. And you can do this as long as you work it up, as long as you do this with all your patients and it's part of, can you bill extra for insurance? No. But you get the idea. As long as it's fair what you do with your cash patients and your insurance patients, it's fair. And if you want to go more into the weeds with this kind of stuff, contact Bonsi Popat. She does amazing consulting for all this kind of admin stuff. This is just my tips. All right, thanks.